Right, good to go. So today we're going to be ranking the films that we saw at the cinema in May 2019. Now, you may have seen our reviews on these, and our scores may not add up with these, but our scores are how we felt about what the film was trying to do and how well it did that. Whereas this ranking is purely based on how well the film was compared to the others. So in sixth place, we have
Aladdin. It had great new music, which was really exciting, and
especially A Friend Like Me.
yeah, that was really good. With DJ Khaled. Will Smith made an amazing genie, which is always good. However,
Will Smith always was a great genie.
it's always amazing. It's been put down at 6 because they should have made it their own. They should have been more individual with the filming. Maybe,
Should have done it a bit like Jon Favreau's Jungle Book and sort of not just kept it 100% the source material and just used that material and spread out in different avenues, you know what I mean?
the rest of the actors aren't as good as the main and Will Smith.
Especially Jafar.
Jafar is terrible. So basically, it's just a cash grab.
Yep, they just thought, Disney, Aladdin, that'll make money. Oh, let's just unanimate this, and there we go. There is Aladdin. In fifth place, we have Godzilla 2: The King of the Monsters. Now, I was really looking forward to this film, like really bad. I loved Godzilla 2014. I mean, don't get me wrong, there are great fight scenes, the CGI is great for the most part, and obviously monsters fighting monsters is really cool, especially with Godzilla, the main monster of Hydra. But there's just no character development, and what character development they have, there's no justification for the actions they do to develop the characters. Some characters just do 180s and just change the motives, and it's like, what is going on right now? And I also thought that they used the cinematography very poorly to show the scale of the monsters, because in 2014 they used the cinematography really well, and really show the scale of Godzilla really well with like the shot of the flares and the foot stamp in the airport. Whereas in this film it had none of that, it was just all wide shots or shots from the public, and it just made them not seem as big and didn't make it as intense in the end. So overall, not bad, but not great. Not as good as 2014, but I'm still going to see the MonsterVerse films. Anything to add?
No, I completely agree.
So in number 4, now this is sort of where we get into the films that were really good, and it was sort of hard to position them. Go on, I'll let you take it on.
Oh, thank you. This one is Detective Pikachu. So we put Detective Pikachu as 4th because obviously it's got the amazing Ryan Reynolds on it, and he is incredible. And him and Justice Smith have amazing chemistry. The plot twists in the movie are really good. They don't do a usual movie. What's it called?
Trope. Sort of heads down the direction of film similar, and then uses these plot twists very well to surprise its audience. Because I was actively trying to guess the plot, and I was surprised many times.
They do really good world building, so it makes you want to know more about the universe, which is always a good thing.
However, would have liked to have seen more battles, I think. Yeah. They're showing this Pokemon world, obviously Pokemon, the big thing is battling. We saw a glimpse of it, and it was one of the best parts of the film. We didn't get any more from that. So, I mean, for what they wanted to do, I see why they didn't, but at the same time, I want to see battles! Mm-hmm. And then there's particularly one side character who is really bubbly and over the top, and it would have worked well if the rest of the characters were like that, but they weren't. Detective Pikachu and Tim were very down to earth, and she just didn't fit in. And also, it had a really bad ending. I thought it had the same ending as The Amazing Spider-Man 1, and it was just like, no, please, less of that. But overall, it was a really good film, really surprised me. Probably one of the best video game films, and I would love to see more in this universe.
Okay, so number 3 is Long Shot. Go on.
I'll let you take it.
Oh, 2 in a row. So Long Shot is our number 3 because it was really, really funny. We both were sat pissing ourselves through the majority of this film.
Shouldn't have had a large drink.
Should not have had a large drink. The chemistry between Seth Rogen and Charlie Theron was really good. What? I can see you pulling the face.
No.
Oh. Yeah, they had really good on-screen chemistry, which is always good. especially from a romance film.
I sort of thought it took sort of like the romance sort of film idea and just put it on its head and put a political twist with it, which I liked. It took the will they won't they sort of romance comedy films and just added it. Oh, but what if the woman's the president and then the power in the relationship and the man's just a journalist, well, an unemployed journalist at the time. So I really like that about it, you know, power to the women and all that. However, I'd say the one downfall of this is it did have a predictable storyline and no particular like down curve in the film. It was all just sort of going really well. There was a tiny little bit where it was like but you could sort of guess where it was going. I mean, in a film like this, you can always but it doesn't justify it. Okay, so for number 2, now, number 1 and 2, we literally argued for at least 3 minutes to decide which one would be number 1 and 2, but we decided to go with number 2 being John Wick 3. I love this film. I love these action films. I think they're so good. I love the world building. The action scenes are incredible. He's this generation's Tom Cruise, I think. I like the fact that they spice things up in every sequence as well. Like, they changed it up a bit. They didn't make it boring. Every fight scene was something different, whether it was on motorbikes, with dogs, with swords, with daggers. They're sort of the same thing. Guns or like shotguns and body armour, whatever. It kept things interesting. It never felt the same. Different locations, great cinematography. However, Keanu Reeves is probably the worst actor.
My dad is not going to be happy with that comment.
Oh, but
Sorry,
like
Dad.
every line he butchers, it's like I need to remember.
Is he in any other films?
Any of what? Full stop.
Like, is he in any like big films?
Keanu Reeves.
I've never seen anything that he's in.
Matrix.
Never seen that. Is he good in that?
No. But overall, it was a really good film. Halle Berry was a nice add-on. It wasn't as good as John Wick 1, but I'd say better than John Wick 2. But overall, really good film. And oh my god, for our number 1, we have Rocket Man.
Of course. It was an amazing film.
It was good.
First film I've seen of this type, a biopic, and it was really impressive.
On Elton John.
On Elton John, of course, the one and only. They incorporated a lot of his songs into it.
So
and,
it obviously has great music.
Yeah. Gave the songs more backstory that you probably didn't know about it before. You got really in depth into his life, and it was like a really personal film.
The acting is also incredible. Taron Egerton, I'm saying it right, so comments, get off my back. He is brilliant in this role. This is the best film he's been in so far. Really shows his talent, and it's only upwards here for him.
100%.
Very similar to Bohemian Rhapsody. It's quite strange that these two films are coming out so similar, and the stories are so similar. These two singers went through such similar lives. I mean, if it's true, we're presuming it's true. But yeah, the one problem I had with Rocket Man is I didn't like sometimes when they burst into songs. I sort of thought it took away from the emotion sometimes, because it'd be like, oh no, that's so sad, Alexa, and then it'd be like, oh, Despacito's playing. Obviously not Despacito, more like Saturday's playing. But like, you get what I mean. And it just took away from the emotion. Sometimes it didn't, and it just stuck to the actors acting, and it was so much more emotional in those scenes. But when it didn't, it got rid of the immersiveness. I got took out of the film. I realised I was in a film, and it just sort of takes the emotion away from it.
Yeah, you've pretty much nailed everything there. It's just, I think it was an amazing overall film, and it's made me want to go and see Bohemian Rhapsody now. That's the reason I didn't want to see that film, was because of it musical. But this has 100% changed my mind on biopics.
Yeah, so that is our picks for the top films of this month that we saw anyway. May. I mean, obviously there were some films we didn't see. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching this whole video. It's quite short, actually, so...
We got through that well quick.
We did get through it.
Very impressive. We're getting better at this.
We are getting better. That was very brief.
I am amazing.
Very concise. If you enjoyed this video, then please absolutely